Somewhere in the hills above Los Angeles sits a 1968 Chevrolet Camaro that looks at a glance almost stock. Dark green paint, rally wheels, subtle badges. Nothing about it screams for attention. And that's exactly the point. The man who built it spent decades chasing a memory, not a spec sheet. His name is Tim Allen. You know him as a sitcom dad, a stand-up comedian, the voice of a space ranger who thought he could fly. But long before any of that, he was a teenager in Michigan, watching a green Camaro tear past him so fast it rearranged something in his brain. This is the story of how that fleeting moment on a Detroit street became one of the most quietly obsessive car builds in celebrity garage history. To understand why, you have to understand Detroit in the late 1960s, the beating heart of American horsepower culture. The epicenter was Woodward Avenue, where factory workers who built Chevys and Fords by day turned the street into an unofficial drag strip by night. Somewhere in that chaos, a green 1968 Camaro burned itself into a teenager's memory. Not the flashiest car on the street, just quiet confidence, stance, and speed. The 1968 Camaro itself was born from desperation. Ford's Mustang blindsided General Motors in 1964, selling over 1 million units and creating an entire new market overnight. GM scrambled, and the Camaro arrived for 1967. By 1968, Chevrolet had refined it into a leaner, more aggressive machine. But the real legend lived in something called COPE-O, the Central Office Production Order, an internal loophole clever dealers exploited to order Camaros with engines Chevrolet never officially offered, like the monstrous 427 Big Block. No brochures, no advertising. You had to know a guy. That underground mystique is exactly what turned these cars into folklore. And it's likely the very spirit behind the Camaro young Tim Allen watched fly down Woodward that night. Allen went on to build a career in comedy, eventually starring in a show fittingly built around a character obsessed with tools and horsepower. But the memory of that green Camaro never faded. Eventually, he decided to stop admiring it from a distance and build it himself. He turned to builder Body Stroud, along with Detroit Speed and Classic Industries, with one clear instruction: subtlety. No wild graphics, no screaming body kit, just the same quiet, dangerous confidence that made the original so magnetic. Underneath that restraint, the engineering tells a different story. A 427 cubic inch LS7 engine, producing 505 horsepower, dwarfing anything GM officially rated in 1968. COPO badging pays tribute to the legend, even though this isn't a numbers-matching original. Integrated fender flares widen the stance. The factory drip rails were deleted for a cleaner roofline. Custom 17-inch rally wheels hide a modern secret. Brembo disc brakes no 1968 engineer could have imagined. Even the reinforced chassis was built so Allen could actually drive it hard, not just admire it in a garage. The car's biggest test came on Jay Leno's garage, where Leno himself got behind the wheel. It smoked its tires with the raw eagerness of a genuine 60s muscle car, but handled with composure no factory 68 Camaro ever had. What makes this story resonate isn't the horsepower, it's the patience. Most people let a childhood memory fade into nostalgia. Tim Allen carried his for 40 years, until one day he stopped remembering it and started building it instead.